Spawn On Me is the premier podcast spotlighting people of color. Every week, we talk news, what we've been playing, and tell you who's invited to the cookout. Our show is all about talking about gaming through a prism of blackness because we are the culture. Welcome to Bukaka, y'all.
I loved that intro. One, I am super excited to be taking over Spawn On Me tonight. And tonight's episode is going to be Women of the FGC. I'm Junae Benne, the hostess with the mostest, and we're going to be talking to some other ladies in the FGC. So we're about to introduce them right now. These are my friends. These are the lovely ladies of the FGC, just some of them, right? So we got Professor High Kick, wave to the people. And we also got SMG Princess. And we also have Nymphiax. So we're going to just do some introductions really quickly. I just introduced myself. And so in the order that I just named y'all, please go around and introduce yourself. Be like, hey, I'm such and such. Name one thing that drew you to the FGC and one thing that made you want to run from the FGC.
Oh my God, what made me want to run? Oh my God. Well, what's going on, guys? I'm Professor High Kick. My first movement is always a high kick. I'm a commentator, I'm a competitor, and I run Ladies Night, a safe space for the women in the FGC. What made me want to join the FGC? I would say the competition and the people. And also NLBC when I first went there on my birthday a few years back. What makes me want to run? I don't know. I would say sometimes the competition, but I just have to get over it. That's all. But other than that, nothing really. I just hope things get a little better. But other than that, I like it here. And thank you for having me, Junae. I appreciate it.
Of course. SMG Princess, you're next.
I was wondering which order we were going in. But I am SMG Princess, also known as Anna. I am a content creator on YouTube and Twitch, mainly in like NetherRealm Studios games like Mortal Kombat and Injustice. And what made me attracted to the FGC was the competitiveness and also the community and the tournaments, traveling to Las Vegas or Chicago and going to those conventions and just so many people with the same love of the game just was really attractive to me. What is making me run away from the FGC? I don't know. I think maybe it might be the ignorance of a lot of people, like especially people with a platform who choose to be ignorant is kind of, disappointing to me. But I'm not going to run away from the FGC. I would rather attempt to reform it and to fix it rather than run away,
I agree.
The end.
Okay. Nymphiax, you're next.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Nim. So, what got me into the FGC? Oh, first, I'm originally into cosplay and just playing video games in general. I stream on Twitch. Started to make a little bit of content for that for other platforms, but for the most part, I cosplay. And honestly, what got me into the FGC? I would say, seriously, it'd probably be my boyfriend. We both got super invested in fighting games, and then it just kind of took off. We made our own local, and then I just got involved in more events. I met wonderful people, and I'm just absolutely in love with, joining. I would never regret it. Something that would have made me run from the FGC. I'm gonna have to agree with everyone. You can't make me just run from the FGC now, but I will agree with with a lot of the things that have been going on. We could really, go back to reforming this community. That way everyone feels safe and accepted. So that would be a start.
Wow, you guys had all such good answers. I like it. So pretty much we are all in it for the competitiveness and the community. And that's the same reason why I came into it too. And one thing that does make me want to run, like, oh, y'all tripping, is the community. I would love to fix it. And I think that is going to lead us into our first topic, which is talking about not in depth talking about the recent transgressions in the FGC, but more so the fact that there is a code of conduct being developed. And with that happening, it's supposed to make a lot of things better, it's supposed to have a lot more regulations. So, one, I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about a code of conduct for the community in general?
Well, I think it may
Anybody.
or may not help. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
no,
want to say I think it
anybody.
may or may not help. I'm not. The reason why I say, oh, I'm iffy about it is because are they gonna hold everybody to that standard? For instance, say someone has been in the scene for years and they're of high stature and they do something and it's swept under the rug, as opposed to somebody who just got here and it's like they've done something really bad. I don't care what it is, whether it be pedophilia, anything like that, and they get outed. But the person who is of high stature gets swept under the rug. You don't want that to happen. So, will this code of conduct, will it affect everybody? If it does, then I'm all for it, because for some reason I kind of see that there's always someone who gets a slide, who gets a pass,
And
and I don't like that at all.
that's literally my next question was, what do you think if it doesn't apply to everybody? Because some people you could be talking about could be TOs, right? Some people you're talking
Right.
about could be like long-term streamers and stuff like that. Like they've been here, but it's like, oh, well, that person doesn't mean that, but like those people should know better. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to agree on that because, I mean, just because they've been here longer doesn't mean that they have to necessarily stay. Like,
Right.
we should hold everyone up to these standards to be better for everyone. I agree. People shouldn't just be able to slide because they have like this huge wave of clout. Or they're really good at pushing buttons. Like that doesn't excuse you from your behavior, especially because a lot of these people like, oh yeah, that's the old head, we know about him. No, 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 we can't keep letting that slide. Like, you're never too old to change, you're never too old to see something differently, or maybe you didn't realize you were being abusive or toxic or you were grooming. You're old there. People are basically always ready to learn. So I feel like as long as everyone's held to that same code of conduct, the community as a whole will get better and it will become easier to just maintain that code of conduct instead of having to call this person out. This person needs to get executed. We'll start seeing less of that if we equally move forward together.
Anything, Anna? No?
I mean, I agree. I agree for the most part, but honestly, I feel like a code of conduct is not going to stop predators from being predators. You know what I mean? Like, you can't change someone based on text. If that's really
True.
what they want to do, if they want to sexually harass or assault someone, they'll do it regardless of a code of conduct. But I think it would be good for like more minor situations, like maybe language and discrimination, those type of things. It can help in, but I don't think it can change a person. So I'm not sure how effective it would be. But I'm curious to see it. Like, I want it to happen, and I want to see what's going to happen if we did implement a code of conduct.
I think that's a really interesting point, because it is good on paper, right? And it is to be like, oh, let's not discriminate against people. Let's, make sure we like watch our language. Let's make sure if these games say that they're, PG-13, like let's keep the scene, like, the venue PG-13 and things like that. It's just really interesting that it may not do anything concerning the bigger cases because other sports have already figured that out. But the reason that other sports have already figured out what they need to do is because everyone is signed to someone. No one is playing as independent. And in the FGC, it's a lot of independent people not getting PR training, people not getting like therapy, you know, and things that they need that comes with being on a team. We know that teams have really good resources for people. We know that teams have like a lot of money and things like that. But the problem is that a lot of people are independent. How are you going to control, or how are you going to set a standard for people when they think their standard is okay and that's why they do whatever they want and what they're doing is malicious? So I think you guys all made some really, really good points. And I'm curious to see how it's going to work out as well and how they're going to change it. But the major difference with the FGC is that it is grassroots. It is like, you know, the poorest esport, you know, right now. Like there's not a lot of money to go around to everyone. And that's why people are like, I'm just going to show up. But I think that's also a good thing about it because anybody can do it. If you own a console or if you have access to a console, man, there was a guy here in Chicago who didn't even own, what was it, Street Fighter? He didn't even own a copy, and he was like whooping on everybody. And you know, that's really cool that he was able to do that. So I think that it's a good and bad thing that anyone can just walk into the FGC. So I agree with you though. I want to know what it's actually going to do and like how it's going to affect it, because you can write things down all day. You know, you can say, hey, don't walk on the grass, but until like you can go back to someone's employer and be like, they're doing this, 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 and that. Also, I wanted to touch on some.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
No,
add
go
to
ahead.
that really quick. Well, the
Yeah.
code of conduct, in my opinion, I kind of feel like it's just holding people accountable. So instead of just saying I'm gonna hold someone accountable, you know, the book, you know, it's basically written in stone. We're gonna hold them accountable because we can all say it, but are we gonna do it? You know,
Exactly.
and it wasn't just on pedophilia; it's just something that was in my head at the time.
Yeah,
You know, I
no,
shouldn't
for
be
sure.
laughing
I
about
mean,
that, but it's like
but that's
everything.
what's recently happened. Like every day there has
Right,
been like it literally evolved from drugging people, you know what I mean, to like then sexual harassment, then to
right.
like harassing minors. And it's just really, that's been the timeline. Anna, ever since we went to Evo, has that not been the thing? It started with that and then it's just like continued on since then. And Evo was a year ago. Like a year now, we've been talking about the wrongdoings in the FGC.
And
Yeah,
and
I think
harassment as well. You know,
it really
I'm
blew
sorry,
up
Anna.
after the Red Bull after party. No worries.
Oh my
Do
goodness.
you remember the Red Bull after party at Evo last year? So many things happened at
Remember, I
that
didn't
party.
go.
It was whack. It was whack. You shouldn't have. I had no business being there. I regret it. But
Yeah.
since that time and all these women came out with allegations against others, I feel like that was a pivotal moment where the FGC was like, okay, what is going on? You know, like these people that we know like are doing this, like they're groping, they're sexually assaulting and harassing other women. Like I witnessed one of the players being dragged out of the party by security because he was literally groping a woman in front of everyone, you know? And
Wow.
the whole line that was waiting outside, like all witnessed it, and it was so embarrassing. But I feel like it's important that we accept that we have these type of people among us, and they might be your favorite commentator or your
Hmm.
favorite TO or your player. You know, it's just I feel like they're choosing to be ignorant and not wanting to believe it, or if they hear it, they just don't give attention to it because they don't want it to be real. You know, and there's still so
Yeah.
much
So
more,
we
but
shouldn't be starstruck.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of starstruck, doing things for clout and things like that, I know that we all have ran into our issues where people are like, you know, you don't really play games, blah, blah, blah. To bring up the topic that we were just talking about or to add to it, I am happy that something's happening when women actually say something. I think that's what the code of conduct is going to help, is that there is a structure now for when I say, hey, this happened to me. And before I really not even before, right now, I think women are not as protected in the FGC as they should be because they don't view us as 51%. You know, like if we complain about it, they're like, okay, but there's still a whole bunch of dudes that are buying tickets to come see it. So now I think it's starting to get like serious because now the people who are paying, the people that we're paying to go see at these tournaments are now the offenders. And so they have to pay attention to that and do more. So definitely, I appreciate that. On top of that, I definitely wanted to let you guys go around and pretty much share your own stories about feeling unprotected as a gamer, as a black gamer, as a black woman gamer, anything like that. I think those stories are always like really important, just because it's not only in gaming does this happen. So not only are we like chasing cloud or doing this or doing that in gaming, it's like everyday life. It's like anime. It's like, hey, I like this fast car. That's a boy car. And it's like, you know, what do you know about that? And it's like, I had the money to buy it. Did you have the money to buy it? Like, did you need to fight? You know what I mean? So, yeah, whoever wants to start first, you can give us a little tidbit of some of the crazy things that just happen to you on like day-to-day basis and things like that.
Honestly, it's super funny that you brought up the car thing because like like freshman year, my second year of college, I had like a old school 87 like souped up Chevy Camaro. Like it was a gorgeous car.
I
Everyone's
knew
like,
you was gonna
"Oh,
say a Camaro because that's the one
mm,
that always does it. They be like, "What you know?" And you be like, "You know what?
shit." Yeah, they'd be like, "Girl, you drive stick?" Like, "Oh, this is your boyfriend's car?" Like, "No. This is my car."
Yeah,
Um
ugh,
hon- honestly, so like I said, I've been super new to the FGC. I would say I've been taking this probably super seriously for the last 2 years. And some events I get like the pseudo comments. So I haven't felt like full on, oh, you're a girl, you suck. Like I haven't felt that
yeah."
just because of the community I've been in. Thankfully, it's very supportive. I love my Kent FGC. I love my Ohio like FGC groups everywhere. But I actually had my first when I did my first Tekken tournament. I never owned Tekken 7, but I played it with my friends and they all played and I wanted to support Kent FGC and Akron's FGC uh, local event. The first match I won, I was so pumped and I remember the guy said he didn't say good job or anything like that. He's like, "Oh, I don't even play this game. I play Street Fighter." And then in that
Okay,
moment, I
so
Take
but
that
you
loss.
hopped on the sticks and
Take
I
that
whooped
loss.
right
you. Like,
in that moment,
okay,
I wanted to say, okay, but I don't own Tekken 7 because it was true at that time.
right.
I didn't own Tekken
Flex
7.
on them next time. Y'all have to
Yeah,
He didn't
flex.
want to
You
take
can be
that
like,
loss. That's all. He's gonna say anything because he didn't
right.
want to take that loss. Man,
yeah, nah,
hold
I
that L.
And
mm,
Hold
and
that
that's
to your
and that's when
chest.
I first learned about stuff like that because I and me and Junae knows I was super nervous about competing in the first place. So after I won, I'm like jittery, like, oh, I can't believe I did it. Oh, I have to go play another game now. And then I was just pumped, and I talked to my friends about it. And Zalius is like, oh, that guy's just OSing, man. Like, did you tell him you don't own Tekken 7? And I was like, no, no, I didn't. But next time, I'm like, you know what? I'm confident now. I'm super confident myself. I'm confident when I compete. And if you want to OS all you want, then we can go there.
I think it's interesting that in any instance, people find a way to make microaggressions at us. Like, it's just wild. And that's some wild energy. Like,
Mhm.
it's just a very wild type of energy to me to just be like, yeah, I don't own this or I don't play or whatever. And you should have just been like, you should have been like weird flex, but okay. Like, you just, if you are good at a game, you know, you can adapt or you cannot adapt, but you can't make excuses for yourself, like Professor High Kick said. Anna, I know you're a streamer and weird things happen to you all the time. Do you experience more microaggressions or flat out like aggressions? Like, which one is more common?
Um, I would say both, but I don't get them as much anymore. I remember there was a time where I was just like minding my own business and I got a tweet of someone in the NRS community and literally they just said, SMG Princess doesn't deserve all the subs that she has on YouTube. Like, what the hell does that even mean? And then he's like, this person deserves more subs than her. And he named like some other guy that was
wow.
only posting gameplay videos with no camera, no voice. And he wasn't getting as much subs as me. And I'm
But
here
you know
like
what's
grinding.
funny? Is like YouTube is free. Like
You know,
YouTube
like
is
nobody's
free.
stopping it.
Anybody can like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But like I was so mad because I've uploaded over 1,000 videos, and the person that he was comparing me with only had about 100 videos,
Oh wow.
and they had about 10,000 subs less than me. And it's like, why are you even comparing us in the first place? We make different
You didn't
content.
even have to bring
We are
my name up.
people,
You did.
Mm-hmm.
and it's insane because that just caused a ripple effect in the NRS community, and I had people
Yeah.
like making it into something else that it wasn't. And I feel like if I wasn't a woman, even a woman of color, I wouldn't have been in that situation. You know, I feel like they really took advantage of this and of minding my own business. I feel like a lot of women go through that. It's kind of like we get those undeserved attacks all of a sudden. You know, like why? I
Yeah.
was just minding my own business. I didn't do
Yeah.
anything
And
to nobody.
I feel like there's undeserved attacks always come, and it's never like a undeserved praise. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Ninjala just won an Apex tournament with Netflix, and some
Hmm.
dude somewhere fixed his mouth to say, yeah, but it was only like a women's only tournament, and they didn't invite me because I would have. And it's like, why? Why did you have to do that? And it's not even like no one thinks you're good at Apex. Like, but she got an article written about her, and I don't even think it was like CNN, Forbes. Like, it was just like an article. It was just a plain Jane article being like, this is what happened, and this was the winner, because people want to know who win. And it's just minding your own business always calls for attention when you're a woman, black woman, woman of color, any of that stuff. And it gets real annoying. Like, it's funny because if you play Splatoon, you know they always make you pick a side. Like the last time I
Yeah.
played Splatoon, it was like ketchup versus mayonnaise. And that's what it seems like in everyday life. It's like you either like this person or you like that person. There's no in between. And that's silly to me because like how like I don't know. I don't know who raised these people. I don't. I'm not sure.
It's just like society as a whole always somehow sees like black women as like we have a giant target on our face for some reason.
Yeah,
Basically.
Just coming to ruin my day. Like
it
bruh, I'm
does.
unbothered.
Professor
Yeah, it's the
Highkick, what was
stereotypes
your
painted on her. Um, whew, okay. I've had a few from back when I was young, but because you made me think all about it. Um, but it all rings the thing. It all rings into you're a woman. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be able to play a video game, or you shouldn't know how to play a video game. And it's like, where do y'all get this from? And we're all human, right? I spend time to make sure I get good at a video game. You should too, you know.
I
And even
think
if it's an
that
hour a day, and I got a lot going on in life, for you to say that, you know,
yeah.
uh,
I think
like
that's
at
really weird.
NLBC.
Go ahead, go ahead, go
At
ahead.
NLBC, there was a guy that I was playing at NLBC. I kind of think he thought I was supposed to be dad at Tekken, and I beat him in a bracket, and there was no handshake from him. He walked away. He was
Oh yeah.
pissed.
Yep.
Yeah, walked away
Always,
mad.
always.
They're just mad.
I'm like, okay. I was okay. Have a good one. Like,
I have your head anyway. The Rona coming up in a couple of years. I don't know you. That's what you
Seriously,
right?
should.
yeah.
I think that
And
that's
then
real.
he was really
Oh,
upset because I commentated after that, and I'm like, what supposed to?
right.
Was
You
I
could have
not
told him
supposed
what he
to?
was
I
doing
mean,
wrong. during the match. That'd have been hilarious. He'd have been like, see, he should have sidestepped, but instead, that'd have been hilarious. He'd have been
Oh, he
so
didn't make
mad.
it that far. He didn't make it that far in bracket. Once I
I'm
beat him
talking
down, of
about
course he
during
was
y'all
gonna lose.
match. During y'all match, you should have like
Oh,
called it and like, you trash. I do
that
think
would have been
that's
hilarious, but
I think it's interesting that people always want to say that we don't play games or we're bad at it. And it's like only boys play games, but like boys have girls. Like they have
basically.
kids and they're like,
And it's
I'm into it. So for
not even only in playing games, because I had mentioned a few months ago on Twitter, I made a statement saying that I decided to go into commentary. And when I tell you, I got attacked by men in the FGC with big platforms. I'm not gonna say their names, but if you look back, you can probably find the thread on my Twitter page. I was shocked. They were like, "Oh, well, you don't know anything about commentary. You don't know the first thing about commentary. You have to know every single thing about the game that you're commentating on. You have to be really good at the game. You have to do this and that." And like I was like, "Why are you mansplaining me? I didn't ask you for it." Like
yeah,
all I did was express my interest in commentating. And I swear to God, that just kind
yeah.
of like shut down my interest for it. And I was like, you know what? Never mind. Let me just
And
and I
that's what happened. I think that I was because I've always wanted to be on air talent. I went to school for broadcast journalism. So when I got into esports, I was like, oh, commentator. And then I was like, but I'm not really good with analysis, right? But it does scare you because you're like, I don't know everything. I got to be twice as good. And half of them up there don't even iron their shirt. Shade, a lot of shade. They don't. And it's like they just get up here looking any type of way and know half about the game. So that's dumb for one. And two, I was just talking about this earlier. Some people are just salty over anything. Like for example, when Meg the Stallion did a mashup with Crunchyroll, a lot of people were like, y'all fake anime girls, y'all don't like anime because when Meg tell you about anime, and then someone was like, well, why do you feel like we don't like anime? Well, when your boyfriend tried to introduce you, stop, I heard enough, you're mad. Just say that. Say you picked a trash anime to show your girl and she wasn't impressed. Say that. Say that. Like, say because she probably saw you on the internet like Goku can beat anybody. And she was like, you a clown. Like, I don't want to deal with this. They do it everywhere. Like, even if black women get other black women interested, we fake, we phony,
all
and
of
it's
us.
like
All of us.
all of it, like, and I'm sure Meg got a lot of other girls into anime and other dudes into anime, and like that's cool. I just don't see the problem where people get introduced to things at different stages. Like, I'll never watch One Piece. You know what I'm saying? I'm too my 10-year thing is Naruto. 10-20-year thing is Naruto. But like I'll never watch One Piece. And I don't care who I'm in love with for the next decade. You know what I'm saying? Because it used to be Childish Gambino. But I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's watching One Piece. I'm gonna watch it. That's too long. And I don't stand nobody that hard, But it's like I was never really into Star Wars. And then like, he's always like been like a super Star Wars fan. And I followed him when he was on like Awkward Black Girl and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch the Star Wars thing. But like to me, it was never like I hate Star Wars. I was just like, I don't get it. And then nobody I knew who was black was into Star Wars. So I was like, I don't really get it. And even till this day, when you talk to like a lot of black people who are in the sci-fi, they're like, yeah, my grandmom was watching Star Trek. My mom was watching this, watching that. And that's how they got into it. And I didn't have that. Like my mom wasn't interested in Star Trek and things like that. So it's just weird how like us introducing it to other people is still a problem, because if I didn't know anything about the FGC, Professor Highkick, Anna, or Nim, or like, yeah, come to a tournament. And then like I sat down and I played a game, they would be like, "Are you here with your boyfriend?" And I'd be like, "No, my friend over there is whooping on everybody. She invited me." And what's really the most amazing story I have is I threw the biggest tournament in Colorado before DreamHack existed. And I was running the tournament and I was walking around making sure everybody's okay. Because no one really knew me by face, right? Because it's like a bigger tournament. And someone was like, "Yeah, are you here with your boyfriend?" And I was like, "No, it's my event. Can I help you with something?" And just to watch them be like, "This black girl," because there was like no black women there. You know what I mean? Like none. And then, women even less. And so for them to see like this black lady being like, "Do you need help with something? This is actually my event." It's just like they be getting embarrassed, but you be like, "This is how you sound, dumb." That's exactly how you sound. So yeah, so we are actually going to take a super quick break and we'll be back. We'll take like 2 or so minutes, I think. So if y'all need water, go get water, all that fun stuff. We back and we back and we back and we back. Sorry to SMG's princesses. I've had issues. But she should be in here in audio anyway. So she'll be here in like 10 seconds. Okay, well, we're just going to get started and then she'll just come through when she comes through. I wanted to keep the conversation rolling and just ask you, what do you want for the future of the FGC? Like, if somebody was like, "Professor High Kick, Nim, here is $1 million. How would you improve the scene and make it work for the future?"
Hold on.
Professor High Kick, I think you're muted.
Can you hear
Muted.
me?
I'm so sorry.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes, I know we can hear you.
Yeah, I was muted, so they couldn't hear me either. I said,
You breaking up. We gonna give you about 10 seconds because you breaking up.
you see me now? What about now? I got turn the light on.
Yes.
What about now?
Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. All right, I was in a bad location. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, so like I said before, you cannot buy inclusivity. No, but I would think that things would get better. But before getting back to that, but I hope we can make more locals, because not everybody can travel. So I'm hoping, that we can have more locals in our areas, and that would therefore more people can come out, because I know majors can be expensive. Even though they're fun, they can be very expensive. And just going to a local, spending about $10 to play at the venue, or $20 to play at the venue and go to the tournament, that could be a really fun experience, And then you can try your hand at commentating and even doing stuff behind the scenes and see what you like in the FGC. That's how I got my start.
Okay. SMG Princess, did you hear the question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you hear
I don't want to be too loud.
You're not loud.
I'm laughing so hard. What was the question? Sorry.
I said, I want to know what you are looking forward to in the future. Like, if someone gave you $1 million and was like, "How would you improve the FGC? This is $1 million for you to do what you want to do to." What's your future vision of the FGC if you have bankroll?
Um, uh, I'm going to think as if coronavirus never existed because I'm not sure what the future holds with that. But
Okay.
I really want to see more events. I want us to really stand out on the map, just like Call of Duty and the first person shooter scene. They have like huge events and they have like they're actual esports. I want the FGC to be esports. I want us to have our own game awards. I don't want the game awards. Like they never freaking include fighting games. I want us to have our own game awards for the FGC. Like I want us to really stand out. And right now, like people forget about fighting games. They don't consider it a, they don't consider some of our games triple A. Like Mortal Kombat is triple A. Tekken 7 is triple A. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like they should be having way more attention than they do now. So I really want that for the FGC to kind of just stand out a little bit more. More creators too, more content creators will be good.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, can I add to that? What about a Hall of Fame? Like
Yeah.
Ooh.
they do, like yeah, like what they do with WWE and stuff like that. I've always loved watching that. And it's like let's do that for fighting games as well.
Mm.
Top players, top streamers, top commentators, and not even just that. People who have actually made noise. They don't have to be top anything. Actually made an impact and an impression without being a top anything, because that has happened before. Call that out at the Hall of Fame too. That would be
Yeah.
so awesome. Everybody comes through, now trying to get glam, but everybody comes through and well dressed, takes pictures, stuff like that. And this is for a
Say it
fighting game?
again. Well
Yes, it
dressed.
is.
Well dressed. Y'all can't
Yes.
come in just
Yeah.
anything. You gotta come well dressed. I love it.
That would be so dope. That would be so dope.
Okay, I had some time to think about my answer, but it's pretty much I'm gonna pretty much steal from High Kick because locals is like the whole local scene is what really, really got me truly invested. And it's just to go off of what everyone said before. I didn't think I'd be interested even being a TO or helping run a tournament or anything like that, even competing. So if we if I feel like if I had all that money, I would definitely reinvest in getting, people access to locals. Like I would love to run like just like my own cafe that has like a little gaming lounge attached to it, just to be like, yeah, come here, come play games. People could come host their tournaments here. They could just host, you know, nights where they just teach people how to play the game, and then boom, I have pizza, whatever. Like something cool like that. That's definitely what I would do because again, FGC, it brings back the community, which starts with probably playing fighting games with your friends, and then now you have more
Hmm.
friends and strangers to beat up.
Yeah, I really dig all of those answers. And Nim, the yours is closest to my heart because that's what I tried to accomplish with the gaming dojo. But I didn't have the
Hmm.
money, so I had to shut it down. But I loved it. Like I loved having people come out. I love being in the midst of it, like walking from one station to another, and it's a different game. It's
Hmm.
different hype, it's different people. One thing that I would work on first and foremost is getting internet to everybody. I know
Absolutely.
that there are some places that don't have internet, so they can't compete. And that gets really frustrating. Like I see on my LinkedIn all the time, there's this guy who's like really interested in like, African esports, like everywhere in Africa gets into esports. And I think that's dope. And especially because I learned about Jamaica Esports Initiative, they are able to play people from like Brazil and other places because the internet is getting better and things like that. And there was an interview that I didn't get because I couldn't talk to him via PR or something another. But there was a guy playing in a tournament at the Combo Breaker maybe 2, 3 years ago now. And he was like, I'm here because I want to bring awareness that there isn't internet everywhere for people to even play these games. And he was like, that's why I'm playing. And I don't even think he was from like any part in Africa. I think he could have been from like Haiti or so. He was from somewhere completely different. But I just thought that was interesting. And I was like, yeah, like we definitely need more of that. We need more Wi-Fi to be eligible everywhere, not just, everywhere else, but here as well. I would also love to go back to my after school program and be able to gift kids like laptops, consoles, and things like that, just to let them know that they can do it and that, it's something bigger. Like being in technology is so important. You know how they used to tell us, like, you're going to have to learn how to send an email, you're going to have to learn how to type and stuff like that. And that stuff was true, but it's like, what's the standard for it now? Like, what are they telling kids that they have to learn? I'm sure it's like a line of code even to just understand. And I just feel like Black and brown kids don't really get introduced to technology and code as much as they should. And, we're great at everything. Like anything that we know we can do, we're going to be great at it. So I'm hoping that the FGC gets $1 million to uplift communities and do all these other important things. Like there's so much work that needs to be done, and I definitely agree with all of you guys. Like Hall of Fame, Game Awards, like making us prime time. We are, people say FGC is poverty, and that's not just because everyone's independent. It's because all you need is a console. I don't know, these new consoles going for like $500. So I don't know how poverty, that is, but it's because everything else requires a PC. I wish I would tell my Jamaican mom that I need a stack for a freaking computer. She'd be like, Fiwa, what you need? And I'd be like, never mind. Like, I'm too scared. So I can only imagine, and I know that Fortnite makes esports look sexy because, all the little kids were like doing the dances and their parents were like, what are you doing? And then that tournament came out where the prize was like $3 million. So I know more people are like, yeah, like my kid loves that game, but it's like, not everyone's gonna compete and win, and you're gonna be mad at your kid that you spent $1,500 and they're not placing or anything. But there's like other jobs. They don't just have to. They don't just have to be great. We got to teach them that they can do other things. But I'm getting off the topic of FGC, so we just go swing to live back around. Yeah, really quickly, Professor Highkick, can you tell us more how you started Ladies Night and Tech In and everything like that?
Yeah. So I went to NLBC for the first time. I heard someone say there aren't enough women in FGC. And I'm like, that has to fly. It doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
I started a Twitter post about it, just asking, all the women in FGC, please, either use a wave emoji or retweet. And I got so many replies. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna start something and for Tekken. And only one woman came out. That was my friend Woo Beauty. And that was my first attempt. The second attempt, I got a few more people, including SMG, Princess, and they were in the Discord. It was the third attempt that it actually took off, and all the women were in the Twitter chat and the Discord, and they wanted to not only empower each other but get better at the game. And that's all I ever truly wanted them to do, or wanted to do myself. Why not train with women, get better with women? And it's not a segregation issue. It's just the fact that women, not everybody feels comfortable playing with the guys because of how they might have been treated in the past. So we play with women and you empower each other, and you go out to tournament. And hey, you win in the tournament. And who did you train with? Your fellow girlfriends, So that's all Ladies Night really is. And from there, we had newsletters. G Princess was in one of the newsletters. So it was Cuddle, Kawaii Face Miles, and that's just to name a few. Ladies at Box Light, and that's just to name a few. Then after that, we had sessions, second 7 sessions. More quarterly. They'll come back soon, as well as a tournament. That will be soon. And I think I get Twitter DMs almost every day saying thank you for this existing, and and I just want to thank the other women that also have different safe spaces for women as well, because it's honestly we to help empower women. We don't need to compete against each other, and that's everybody. But I'm not talking about the guys right now. I'm talking about the women.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as women, we need to empower each other. Not everybody's gonna do it. That's fine, but for the most part, just empower each other. Just give each other compliments, cheer for each other when you go up to a tournament, commentary, anything. It helps. It really does.
Yeah, I think my motto, like Issa Rae said, I'm rooting for everybody black. And then when I go somewhere and then it's black women, I'm like, I'm rooting for everybody. That's a black woman.
Mhm.
So I actually have a question about, you're talking about like not segregated, but more so safe spaces. And I'm all about safe spaces, of course. I want
Mhm.
to know if you guys think that having a women only tournament can be a double-edged sword, and as in like it depends who's behind it, it depends like who's invited, and like how pretty much it's being put together.
So it's definitely a double-edged sword because yeah, it creates that safe space, some for example, take me. I at first wasn't super comfortable competing at all because I felt like everyone was out of my league. And then if I'm like, "Oh, it's a women's only tournament." Oh, great, I can meet some girlfriends, or I talking to girls is a lot easier for me. And that would seem like such a great idea, but then at the same time, it's almost saying, are these women not good enough to play in the regular tournaments or the tournaments with the men, with the big players? And it's like it and that's again the double-edged sword of it, because you want to showcase the women, but now all of a sudden now we're not good enough. And that's and that's the sucky part about it, because I love showcases. I love being introduced to more competitive and professional people in the FGC, whether that's women who get to commentate, women who are competing. Like, it's great to see that. But then in the back of your mind, they're like, dang, why isn't she just on the regular Evo main screen? Like, why is she on this side indie project? So it kind of hurts, but I hope there's a way we can somehow rectify that. Just from
Mm,
a
Well,
newbie perspective.
mhm. Oh no, no. Most of what you're saying, I agree with. The only thing I don't is when you said basically, I'll say this: when we do women's only tournaments, it's not really trying to separate them or anything like that. Like, why is she not commentating? Turn it on. Why is she not commentating at Evo? Evo's a totally different thing than exhibitions or women's only tournaments. I don't think we're really trying to get it as a major or anything like that. But like I said, these women's tournaments are to empower. Say hi. Say hi. That's my son. Those women's only tournaments are to empower more so than to separate everybody, which I don't understand why people always issue with that. You know, I just I don't understand that. I probably won't either, only because I'm thinking about it through my standpoint, which is, we're there to showcase those women and to make sure that they feel okay when they go out to tournaments and so forth, and it's all in good fun. But there will be ignorant thoughts and thought processes that go with it. I tend to ignore that, because at the end of the day, who's gonna be the ones that are actually going to be competing? The women. Fall for that mindset, then there's nothing I can really do to help them.
Right. I
I'm
wish
saying
everyone
that in
did
an
see.
evil way. It's like you can't always change up, right, people's mindsets. Even if I do talk to them. So
Yeah, I really wish everyone saw it through your mindset, because that's like I said, I would love the showcases more, but then just you're right. It's just like people have that ignorant mindset that oh, they have to be segregated or something like that. So
Right. And it's not really and it's not really segregation. So I don't know. See, the thing is that it to me, I think after a little while, I kind of think some people are like, I don't want to use the word bipolar because that's the wrong word to use. But one minute you want something for the women, and the next minute,
They want
and the
their
next
cake
minute
and
you
eat it.
don't.
They want to have their
Right.
cake and eat it too.
yeah, that's right.
Anna, what do you think?
So
I mean, I don't think that it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
I agree with Professor Highkick. I think people are going to complain no matter what. Okay, it doesn't matter what you do, people will always have something to complain about. These women only tournaments are opportunities for the women who don't regularly join, the normal tournaments, if they don't feel comfortable joining that because there's an abundance of men in those tournaments. Maybe they want to
right.
join a women's only tournament and develop friendships, like new relationships and all that kind of stuff. You feel like you're part of something, and I feel like that's so important. And it's not like you're taking anything away from other people. We are not
Hmm.
canceling tournaments, normal tournaments, to make women only tournaments. It's just a little
Right.
extra, and it's not hurting anybody. It's only making the community better. And I think those people that complain about it are just, they're just going to complain about anything anyway. So, like Professor Highkick said, just ignore them, try to educate
Right.
them. Otherwise, just ignore them, because it's just, they're going to do it regardless. So, I don't think we should stop. I think we should do more women tournaments, actually. Maybe
I
even
know.
LGBTQ tournaments. Sure, why not?
Hmm.
It's not taking away from anybody,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
That's it.
I agree with you. The only way I feel like it's double edged is when it's done by like a people you don't know that normally supports women. That's when I start getting nervous. It's like seeing that Overwatch, what was it? That Overwatch jersey dress, and it was like a cheerleader outfit that was
Oh
for
yeah,
girl.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what that feels like.
yeah.
And so it's always important to be like, I want to do this with this type of person, or I want to do this with, like, to be like, well, who's the head of this and how much can we trust
Hmm.
them? That's the only time I get iffy. But like, I would support definitely LGBTQ. I would support LGBTQ. I would support, Black. I would support like women gaming, like all of that stuff, because
For sure.
it's important for y'all to feel safe. Period. Like, we want everybody to feel safe. And just listening to people's stories, how like people treat them off camera. Like, say if I was a part of the LGBTQ community and I was competing and then I'm on camera, no one's gonna say anything to me. But if I'm like playing my match, like, I've heard of people shaking people chairs, calling them derogatory names, things like that. And I was like, well, I would have just had to catch a case that day, because you can't treat people like that. You
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
You can't do
exactly.
that. Um, so yeah, I just want to thank you all for talking to me, coming to hang out with me. I appreciate it. I love you guys. I gotta learn to stop saying you guys, but I can't. Like, I don't know how to stop saying you guys. I've been trying it for years, and it's just like, no. Like, even when I'm talking to my mom and my sisters, I'd be like, you guys. My mom be like, what? I'd be like, sorry, mommy. I mean, mommy, ma'am. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for coming, and plug yourselves really quickly. Go ahead. You guys want to spit some bars? I'll beatbox.
Oh
No?
no. Oh,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Plug yourself then. Plug yourselves.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter, at Tanisha Jane, TANEISHA, Ladies Night is Ladies Night FC. I'm on Twitch as well, Professor Highkick on Twitch. At me, say hi, whatever you want to say. I'm willing. I'll tweet back. I promise. And I love to have you in the streams. We always talk about stuff, anything and everything, FGC wise, life wise, and I play some Tekken with you too.
She meant she'll whoop on you at Tekken, but she will play with you.
Oh yeah. She just didn't want to say it. She didn't want to
No,
scare
she
y'all
was
away.
being polite. Like, she's being polite. Anna,
I
you're
guess
next.
next.
Oh, or no, yeah, go ahead. Either one. I was trying to do it in order, but
Oh, go in order.
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's just the
Okay,
order in my
well,
head. You know, you'd be like, okay, left, right. Go ahead.
Well, you can just find me on any social media at SMGXPrincess, except for Twitter, which is SMGXPrincess IRL. I make pretty good content. I like my own content, which is kind of weird, isn't it? Like, I like watching
No.
my own videos. It's so weird. But
Yeah.
I feel like I put a lot of effort into my videos and everything, and I feel like the majority of the FGC would like my videos if they gave it a chance. So go check it out.
Yeah, of course. Your videos are really good. Like, definitely give these
Thank you.
ladies, definitely
Yes.
give them a check on all their social media. You can find me on twitch.tv/nymphiax. My name's pretty much everywhere. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. It's mostly cosplay stuff, and then FGC and tournament stuff in between. So I do a little bit of both.
Awesome. Yeah, I be watching my own videos and laughing. Like, you'd think I
You
was
have
a
to.
comedian. Yeah, like, because the other day, one of my latest videos, I'm showing you how to use a key puller because I didn't know how to use one on my
Oh, I
mechanical
saw that.
keyboard. And I'm sitting
I
here
gotta see
like,
that.
these people are not going to take me serious at all because I was struggling, but I was like, post it. Because you watch other people. One, I like to remake content just so people can see like a black face. Like, that's like my
Yeah.
thing to do these days, just to be like, okay, because you know, you go on there and you see all these non-black people talking, and then they're like, hi, my name is Junae, and when I was born my mom did this, and if you guys could just give me a like and a follow, and before we get into that, I actually want to tell you about my second grade memory. Okay, here's how you do this. And you're just like okay, so yeah, I try to get straight and quick to the point. I'm Junae Benne everywhere. If you remember how to spell my name, you can Google it. One of my latest tags is Natural Hair Gamer. I do a lot of fun stuff. I stream, and me and SMG Princess are on the same team, Equinox. So shout out to them because Emily is dope. And we got some other dope people on there as well. And I just want to thank Spawn on Me for allowing me to take over. See, I didn't do anything crazy. I just came here and I behaved myself and I got the content out. And that's what we wanted to do today. So I just want to thank you all for watching and follow everybody you see. Oh, thank you. You making me blush. You see a little red under my cheeks. Yes, thank you so much. And I appreciate all of you. Bye.
Thank you for having us.
For having us.
Bye.
Thank you.